This is section 2.3, linear functions and slope. The first thing we have here is the definition of a slope. We use the letter M for slope. I believe it comes from the French word for slope, but I've never checked that out for sure. One definition is the change in y over the change in x. This is the definition that helps us most understand what is going on. A slope is a ratio. It's a comparison of one thing to another. Then we have rise over run. This is most useful when we have a graph. Either when we have a slope and we're trying to create a graph, or if we have a graph and we're trying to find the slope. It works both ways. And then we have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We use this when we have 2 points, where one point would be x1, y1, and the other point is x2, y2. Okay? So if we're asked to find the slope of the line that connects these 2 points, this is what we will use. These are all saying exactly the same thing. It's just different viewpoints, different ways of looking at it. So let's look at our first couple of problems. We're asked to find the slope of the lines that could pass through the given points. Okay, so our first one is 2, 1 and 3, 4. Now you might be wondering, how do we know which one of these has the 1s and which of these has the 2s? It does not matter, okay? It just matters that whichever point you start with on your subtraction, you do that in the top and your bottom. Notice both of these are 2s. And then what you're subtracting is the other point. It doesn't matter which one you start with, because if you change the order of subtraction here and here, you've changed this to a negative and this to a negative, which cancels each other out. I'll work this one twice just to show you. So m is equal to y2 minus y1. I started with this point on the top, so I'll start with this one on the bottom. 3 minus 2, which gives me 3 over 1, which is just 3. So that first slope is 3. Now if I calculated this the other way and started with this point instead, I would have 1 minus 4 over 2 minus 3, which gives me negative 3 over negative 1. See, it changed the signs on both of them, which is still just a positive 3. So the signs may be different if you switch the order of if you switch the order that you're working them, but you'll get the same answer in the end. Okay, so let's try 6, negative 4, and 4, negative 2. Well, this slope is y2 minus y1, be careful with your signs, over x2 minus x1. So this is negative 2 plus 4 over, that's going to be a negative 2. So that's 2 over negative 2, which would be a negative 1. So our slope is negative 1. Okay. So what we're going to be doing a lot of is we're going to be given certain information and we're going to be asked to find points or lines that go along with them, okay, or equations that go along with them. So our first equation is called the slope-intercept form of a line. This is y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, b is the y-intercept. Okay, that's why it's called the slope-intercept form of the line. Then we have point-slope form of a line. This is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. You will use this when you are given a slope and you're given some other point, x1, y1. Now, what a lot of people get mixed up on this one is people want to plug into regular x and regular y. We don't do that because we're trying to find an equation, and that equation will have an x and a y in it. So we don't actually plug in anything into there. We plug in here, here, and here. Okay? Now on the homework, you're going to be asked to first plug in your answer in point slope form, and then you're going to be asked to simplify it, either into slope intercept form or to general form, which we haven't talked about yet. Okay? So let's find the equation of the line using the information. We want our answer in slope-intercept form in the end. Okay, so my slope is 4. The point I know I go through is 1, 3. So this is x1, y1. So first we're going to plug into point slope form of a line. So y minus y1, y1 is 3. And this equals our slope, which is 4, times x minus x1, x1 is 1. So this is likely the first thing you'll have to enter in your answers. And then they want you to simplify this, which just means solving it for y. So I'm going to distribute the 4. Y minus 3 is equal to 4x minus 4. Now add 3 to both sides. Y is equal to 4x minus 1. And that will be our answer. Okay. So let's do the same type of problem here with our slope equal to -5, and the point we're going through is -4, -2. Okay, so the first thing we do, since we have a point and we have a slope, we use the point slope formula. Y minus y1. Y1 will be -2 is equal to slope times x minus x1. So -5 times x minus our x1 is -4. You want to be really, really careful with your signs. Y minus -2 is y plus 2. And this is equal to -5 times, that's going to be x plus 4. Now distribute the -5. Y plus 2 is equal to -5x minus 20. Now we need to subtract 2 from both sides. Y is equal to -5x minus 22. Now one thing you do want to check on this is, this is y equals mx plus b. So the number in front of your x should be your slope. We know our slope is -5. That needs to remain a -5. If it's not, you've definitely made a mistake. You should also be able to plug in -4 for x, do the arithmetic, and end up with -2 for y. So you have a built-in check here. All right, so let's find the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points, 3, 5 and 8, 15. Okay, so we are not given a slope here. If you are not given a slope, you will be given enough information to find the slope. And since we have 2 points, we can use the slope formula to figure out what the slope is first. It's y2 minus y1, so 15 minus 5 over x2 minus x1, 8 minus 3. So this is 10 over 5, which is 2. So the slope I'm going to use is 2. Okay, now we're going to use the point slope formula. We have the slope, and we actually have 2 points. You might be wondering, how do you know which one to use? It really, honestly, does not matter at all. You should end up with the same answer no matter what. So since you have a choice, choose the one that looks easier to you. And I like smaller numbers, so I'm going to use 3, 5. So this is y minus y1, which is 5, equal to the slope times x minus our x1, which is 3. Okay, now let's distribute this. Distribute the 2. Y minus 5 is equal to 2x minus 6. And now let's add 5 to both sides to get y is equal to 2x minus 1. Okay,